Here's solutions to homework set number 12 for ECE 111. This homework set looks at complex numbers. Now with this homework set, you're solving one equation, one unknown with complex numbers. For this homework set, you can use Matlab. It's a bit of an overkill, however. Matlab is really good at n equations and unknowns. It will do one equation, one unknown, but hand calculator will do that as well. As a suggestion, if your hand calculator struggles with this homework set, you need a better calculator by the time you get to Circuits 1. I recommend the HP42s, but it's totally up to you. The first problem is convert from rectangular to polar and polar to rectangular. So if I have the vector 8 minus j7, so the real axis is x, the y-axis is imaginary. We go over 8 down minus 7. That vector has a magnitude of 10.6, and the angle is minus 141 or minus 41 degrees. So I can represent that number two different ways, 8 minus j7 or 10.6 at minus 41 degrees. Either one means the same thing. You can also do that with an HP calculator. Again, you don't have to use an HP. In my opinion, this is the best calculator ever built for electrical engineers. Kind of the way it works. To do complex numbers, I've got this complex function. We do second modes rectangular. I can input the numbers in rectangular form. 8 minus j7 is 8, enter, minus 7, complex. To convert to polar, go to polar, 10.6 at minus 41 degrees. So the HPs you can flip back and forth between the two. It doesn't really care. Second number, 8 plus j3, is you go over 8x up 3y. The magnitude is 8.5, and the angle is 20 degrees. Going the other way around, if you have 8 at minus 44 degrees, what this is at shorthand notation, that's r times e to the j theta, where theta is in radians. So I've got 8 as the amplitude, e to the j minus 44, convert to radians, because anything in English is wrong, rule of thumb. Converting to radians gives you 5.7 minus j 5.5. Again, the HP calculators will do that. To input a number in polar form, I do modes polar, 8, enter, negative 44. There's the amplitude and angle, complex. And polar form interprets that as the amplitude and the angle. To convert to rectangular, go to rectangular mode. And 8 at 172 degrees is, here's 8, here's 0, 90, 180. So this is 8 at at plus 172 degrees. That's minus 7.9x, 1.13y. Okay, problem 2 looks at adding complex numbers in rectangular and polar form. Rectangular form is easy. You just add the real parts. So 8 plus 12 is 28. Minus 7 plus 3 plus 6 is 2. I can do that in Matlab. I can do that on HP. On HP, kind of the way it works is I'll input the first number, 8, enter, negative 7, complex. The second number, 8, enter, 3, complex. Once you get the two numbers on the calculator, I can now add them. Then 12 plus j6 is 12, enter 6, complex, add. In polar form, I can add them. This is where the HP actually is better than Matlab. In Matlab, I can input the numbers. Here's the first one, second one, third one, add them all up. The HPs can actually add numbers in polar form just as well. They do modes polar, have 8, enter, negative 70, complex, first number, 8, enter, 30, complex, second number, atom, third number, 12, enter, 60, complex, atom. There's your answer. So these two are the same. To see that they're the same, let's put them in the same mode, both in rectangular, same answer. Third problem, find this solution. Well, that's a piece of cake for Matlab. Just input the first number, 8 minus j7, times 8 plus j3, divided by 12 plus j6, you get a complex number. With an HP, I kind of do the same thing. I do 8, enter -7, complex. Second number, 8, enter 3, complex. Now multiply. 12, enter 6, complex. Divide, and there's your answer. Kind of suggestion, if your calculator can't do this, you need a new calculator. If it can, you should be fine for Circuits 1. Second one, take the first set of complex numbers, the second set of complex numbers, add them, take the result, multiply by complex numbers, and surprise, surprise, get a complex number. With Matlab, you write it almost the way you type it out almost the way you write it. HP is a little more complicated. I have to input the numbers one by one. Now let's show you that one. So do 4, enter 6, complex, 7, enter 2, complex. Now take the ratio. The second set, 3, enter -1, complex, -5, enter 12, complex. Take that ratio. Now, the HPs have a stack. They remember the previous operation and the current operation. Add those together. Multiply by 14, enter 2, complex, multiply, -3, enter -8, complex, divide, same answer. And this is kind of where it's kind of nice with HPs. Some Casio calculators will work, but you have to sit there and do all these parentheses and type it in, hit evaluate. That'll take you 10 minutes. On a test, you don't have 10 minutes. HPs will just grind out the answer. HPs are really good at grinding out numbers. The fourth one is, I don't really know how this is useful, but a function of a complex number is a complex number. You can take e to the complex number, and you get a complex number. The log of a complex number is a complex number. A complex number raised to a complex number is a complex number. Again, how this is useful, I don't know, but your calculator should be able to handle complex numbers. Anything you do with real numbers, you should be able to do with complex numbers. Matlab can do that, HPs can do it, TIs and Casios really struggle. The last two problems are partial fraction expansion with complex numbers. With partial fraction expansion, the approach I like is the cover-up method. So if I let a or x go to minus j3, this goes to infinity, that's a constant, that's a constant. Relative to infinity, these don't matter. So a is this as x goes to minus j3. So here's this term right here, I'll pull it outside. Take this term right here, pull it outside. That mess right there has to be a. This is called the cover-up method. I cover up the term I'm evaluating, analyze at minus j3, and I get the answer. So that's A. To get the second number, to find out what B is, I'll again use the cover-up method. I'll cover up this term, evaluate at plus j3. So there's x is plus j3, evaluate everything else. I get 3.75 minus j1.25. And the last term, to find C, I cover up this term, evaluated x is minus 3, I get minus 2.5. That's the cover-up method. Same thing you did with partial fractions with real numbers, only now with complex numbers. And that also works with an HP. I'm not going to grind through all that. The last one is, again, do partial fraction expansion. To find A, I'll cover up this term, evaluated x equals minus 6, and I get 18.75. To get B, I cover up this term, evaluate at minus 7, and get 23.8. To find C, I cover up this term, evaluated x is minus j6. To find D, I cover up this term, evaluated x is plus j6. And that is homework set number 12 for ECE 111, complex numbers. As far as I know, Electrical engineering is about the only major where we live and breathe complex numbers. We're going to need that anytime we deal with sines and cosines, which will be pretty much the rest of the semester. So that's homework set 12 for ECE 111.